Hello there, this is Muhammad Vahed of the Khamissa Vahed Public Speaking Academy, your #1 public speaking specialists. Today we're going to be discussing the role of humor in public speaking. The question arises, should we use humor or shouldn't we use humor? Can humor be used in all speeches? Well, humor can be used in almost all presentations. What is very important is to bear in mind the social setting as well as the timing of humor. You might wonder, what are some of the benefits of humor? The first benefit is that if it appears to you that you are about to lose your audience or you've already started losing your audience, if you introduce appropriate humor, you will win them over again. And the best feeling a person can get is that where he cracks a joke in public speaking, and the audience laughs at his humorous presentation, it gives him more energy. The second benefit of introducing humor in your speech is that you take control of the audience. When you are relating a humorous story and the audience is at the edge of their seat, listening attentively to what you are saying, you have them in your hands. You have them under your control. What humor also does is that it eases the tension. Sometimes it might appear that the speech is very heavy or the audience are very tense. And by introducing humor in the appropriate place, it will liven up the audience and an otherwise heavy topic will become acceptable. So these are some of the things or some of the benefits of humor. Now, there's some things that you just do not do in humor. One of that is you don't announce humor. You don't say, now I'm going to be introducing a humorous talk or a humorous anecdote. What if it is not humorous? Then you'll be really embarrassed. There's some types of jokes that you keep away from. You keep away from off-color jokes. You keep away from political jokes. You keep away from racial jokes. Jokes about disabilities, about fat people, about bald people, unless, of course, you fall into one of those categories and you're laughing at yourself. The question also arises, if you crack a joke, if you say something humorous, what if the audience does not laugh? That's not a problem. Don't delve on it, just continue. If you're going to delve on it, then you're going to get stuck in your speech. But there's something always to remember, that do not crack jokes at other people's expense. If you have to introduce humor, introduce what's called self-deprecating humor. Now, self-deprecating humor is where you give a humorous anecdote about yourself. So you get the people laughing at yourself. Now, this is something very difficult to do. And the reason is, it's easy for us to laugh at other people, but to get other people to laugh at us is not easy at all. Now, I've got 4 sons, and as they were growing up, and you know how sons are, especially teenagers, and on Saturday night when they want to go out with their friends, and you tell them, right, make sure that you're back home at 10 o'clock. They say, no, not a problem, Dad, I'll be back at home at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock come, it's not there. 11 o'clock, still not there. 12 o'clock, still not there. And you're getting all anxious at home. And then when they come in later, and you warn them, you haven't kept your word. The last time I'm giving you a warning. If once more you do not come back on time, then you're going to be grounded. So the next time a son goes out, again he's supposed to be back at 10. 10 o'clock is not there. 11 o'clock is not there. And he comes in the wee hours of the morning. Now the rules are laid down. You're not going to leave home at all. And the next time you want to go out with your friends, you take your clothes with you. Okay, the son then looks at you, just nods his head. And the next Saturday, again his friends are outside, got his coat in his hand, and he just comes and tells you that he's going. But didn't I tell you that you're not supposed to go again? Haven't we grounded you? And he's got a smirk on his face. So he leaves the door. Car is waiting outside. So I run into the room. I open the cupboard. I grab his clothes. I run after him and I fling the clothes behind him. He turns around, gives a smirk, surprises me, and he just stands. I run back into the room, open the cupboard, grab more clothes, run after him and fling it behind him. Again, he just looks at the clothes, looks at me, with a broad grin on his face. And I'm seething with anger. And then my other son comes running from the back and say, Papa, Papa, those are my clothes. Can you imagine how embarrassed I felt? And what's worse, do you know who had to pick up the clothes? Me. Now that's an example of self-deprecating humor, where you are cracking a joke on yourself, and the advantage of this is you bring yourself down to the level of the audience, and that is how you interact with them and you get them on your side. So these are some of the things to bear in mind. What are the benefits of humor? Things to avoid in humor. And if you can introduce self-deprecating humor, that's great. The next question arises, where do I find humorous stories? They are all around us. At home, if we have children, grandchildren, and they do something amusing, what's the first thing we do? We relate it to our friends. If we come across a joke, something that's humorous, we can pen it down. And when we are looking for humorous stories, then we have them on hand. So that brings us to the end of this segment on humor. This is Muhammad Vahed signing off from your Khamissa Vahed Public Speaking Academy, your #1 public speaking specialist.